What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another lesson. So in this one, we're going to continue creating our program and we're going to add a couple of more features to it. All right. So in the past, we have whatever we've created so far. We're making progress, obviously, but there are a few problems if you think about it. The first one is that if you actually run the code, we actually see our cards and we see the computer's first card at least, but the problem with this is that first of all, we can't play our game right now. All right, so there's no way for us to actually play our game, so that is one of the first issues. The second issue is that we need to actually ask the user if they want another card or not, right? And also we need to actually get computer to play as well. So we need to add more cards to the computer or get the computer to pick more cards as well. So again, we have a couple of features that we got to add here. The game is not really finished yet. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this variable that we created, which is isGameOver equals true, and I'm going to copy this before this for loop, and I'm going to set it to false because obviously this is like what we're going to use to determine whether the game is finished or not, right? But in the beginning, obviously the game is not over, right? So we're going to set it to false. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And that's going to be the first thing I'm going to do. All right. So next is we actually need to ask for user input, right? Essentially, we need to see if the user wants to play another, hand or not, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue developing on this like if statement, right? And let's actually get rid of this. I just realized that we actually didn't need this. So it's fine. We're just going to go this way. So, anyway, so we're just going to continue building this, and as you see, I commented out everything for you guys. And one of the interesting things about PyCharm, which was like I wanted to like show this to you as well, is that when you actually see a long comment, because when you add a long comment to a code and it like exceeds over 120 characters, I believe, yeah. So 120 characters, that's like the Python guidance style, essentially. When you exceed over, you can actually use it to break it. Like you can actually click on this and it's going to break it. So that way you can like, kind of keep your code shorter. So there you go, just like that, it actually breaks the code. So it's really nice. But again, we're not going to think about that stuff right now. So let's go ahead and actually create, develop this more so user can actually play. So so far we have this if user score equals 0 or computer score equals 0 and all that. What we're going to continue is I'm going to say else, okay, and we're going to ask user. So I'm going to define a variable called user should deal, and I'm going to set this to, well, actually let's say input, and we're going to receive user input. That's what we want to do, right? So I'm going to say type well, there you go, just got that wrong. Type let's see, type y to get another card, and type n to pass. All right, so we got that, right? And let's see what else we should do. So we got this right now, and what we want to do is we're going to say if, well, let's actually do one more thing. I'm going to say lower, so that way what we actually get from the user is going to be always in lowercase. That's one of the important things, in case, especially if you're using strings, to actually using strings in if and else statements. So because what I want to do is I want to take that value, I'm going to say if user should deal equals y, that means yes. What I'm going to say is that user cards append, and I'm going to call the deal card function, and just like that. So, and else, let's add an else statement as well. So I'm going to say else is game over equals true. So here's what we did. All right. So what I did was that I said, hey, now that we actually have this going on, so we need to actually get user input, right? So we need to ask if the user wants to continue playing. So if the user said yes, we ask the question here, and if the user says yes, we're going to append another card from the deal for this function, right? So we got our cards here. So we're gonna append another card to the user cards list, which is right here, right? So we're gonna append another card to it. So essentially we're handing them another card, right? And if they don't want that, that's else. That would be, we're gonna turn the game and we're gonna say is game over equals true. So essentially we're ending the game, right? So that is that. Now next, what we need to do is we need to actually turn this into a while loop, because if I run this right now, what is going to happen is that, so we got your cards 3 or 5, score 8, computer's first card is 10. All right, great. So what I'm going to say, I'm going to say yes, and nothing's going to happen. See, game's over. Nothing's going to happen. So what we need to do is we need to actually just fix that there. We need to have a while loop that continues running this unless this is, true, right? So what I'm going to say is I'm going to just add a while loop right on top of this right here. So this whole thing needs to be a while loop. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say while not is game over, we're going to have this entire thing to be a loop, right? As simple as that, guys. So the way you actually, well, because we need to indent everything, right? But the way you do this is that, because I need to bring the whole thing under this while loop, right? And in PyCharm, the way you indent is actually different from the Replit. You select the code that you want to indent and you press tab. It's that easy, right? And it's just going to indent the whole thing. So just like that, guys, we actually got our code ready in this while loop and it's ready to go. Now, we're running this while loop and we're asking this question over and over from the user. But there's a problem. The problem here is that we're actually not asking from the computer to play. So we need to actually get the computer to play with us, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have another while loop, right? And we're going to say while computer score, okay, is not equals 0. And let me tell you why actually we're doing that. So if you remember, we had a few rules, all right? One of the rules was that, let me actually add this and let me tell you why we're doing that. And computer score is less than 17. So if you remember, we had a few rules. The first rule was that if the computer, if the computer score was like, or card value was under 17, it needs to keep playing, right? It needs to grab another card immediately. And another one was that, while, like, if you remember in this, like here, let me actually go back. Where was this? Here. In this calculate score function, one of the things we did was that we returned 0 if the sum of the cards were 21. All right. So what we need to do is that we need to say if the computer score is not 0, meaning that it's not jackpot yet, right? And the computer is below 17, the computer needs to grab another card, right? So the way we do this is by saying computer cards append and deal card. So just like that, we got computer to actually grab another card. So just like that, we got that. All right. So that hopefully this is going to work. Yeah, there you go. So, and then what we need to do is we need to get the computer score. We get the computer to actually pick up and like get its total score, right? So computer score equals calculate score. So we're going to say calculate score and we're going to computer cards. So just like that, we got this thing to essentially, play. So computer is now going to, if it's not jackpot and if it's under 17, it's going to grab another card, right? Because again, when the computer is over 17, it's not allowed to get another card, right? So we're going to say if the computer is not jackpot and also the computer is not is under 17, grab another card and just calculate the score again. So just like that, we're going to run this. So if I run this again, and let's say I'm going to type y, so I got 10 and 9, 19. I'm going to be daring. I'm going to say, okay, I think I'm going to get lucky here. So I'm going to say yes, and there you go. So we just messed it up because obviously that's not going to work out. So yeah, so let's actually clear this again, and let's run it one more time. I'm going to say, there it goes, 13, computer's first score is 3. I'm going to say yes. I think I made a mistake here. Yeah, I think I made a mistake. There you go. So now, if I actually do this, just clear this one more time. So if I run this, and we're gonna ask, the computer is gonna ask for the, so we got 20. That's pretty good. I'm gonna be daring. I'm gonna say yes, and there you go. So we are, so your cards, there you go. 9, 10, 1. Current score 20. And I think I had an ace. Yeah, so that's what happened. We actually turned it to a 1. So now computer's first card is 2. I got 20. I'm just gonna say no. So that's where we're gonna end the program. So now it's pretty much working, and everything's good to go. Now what I need to do is I need to actually add some other messages, right? So we need to see what's going on with the computer and pretty much finish up the game, which is something we're going to do in the next video. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. Again, I know this was a little bit confusing. We made a lot of changes. I made a mistake here, which I fixed, but we added this so we track the game whether the game is over or not, and then we also added our else function, so that way we actually ask for another user input if the user wants to continue playing, right? And then we added the function where or the while loop, which allows computer to play, and that's pretty much it. So that's all we did. And again, let me know if you have any questions. If not, I'll see you in the next one, guys.